All right, let's dive into something pretty profound. We're going to explore a story of transformation, but maybe not the kind you're thinking of. See, this isn't about changing your job or where you live. It's about changing your life from the inside out. And our guide for this journey is a seeker named Alara. And I have a feeling her story is going to feel pretty familiar. So, the whole journey kicks off with this one simple question. But man, it gets right to the heart of that feeling of being stuck, you know? It's the question Alara asks herself when she's at a total crossroads. I mean, have you ever felt that? Like you're just hitting your head against the same wall day after day? Well, this question, it's the very first crack in that wall. So let's meet Alara. She's what we'd call a seeker. You know, that person who just knows there has to be something more to life than the same old obstacles she keeps hitting. And as she's really thinking about her situation, something huge, a really powerful realization starts to click into place. And this is a feeling I think a lot of us know all too well. Alara is just trapped. She's in this brutal cycle of constant struggle, just pushing and pushing against her problems. But the thing is, the harder she fights, the more drained she gets, and absolutely nothing changes. It's that classic, incredibly frustrating loop. And then, boom, this is her breakthrough, her big aha moment. It dawns on her that maybe, just maybe, the wall isn't the actual problem here. The real problem is the way she's seeing it. The source of all this struggle, it might not be out there in the world at all. It might be coming from inside her. Okay, so this realization, it's a total game changer. It leads her to the first major shift in her entire journey. And it's all about one thing, elevating her perspective. You know, learning to see beyond the wall that's been blocking her view. So the big question is, how does she pull that off? Well, she breaks it down into 3 really clear steps. First up, just stop fighting. Seriously, stop pouring all your energy into something that won't budge. Second, she needs to elevate. It's like get a bird's eye view of the whole maze instead of being lost down in the corridors. And finally, number 3, reframe. She has to completely change how she understands the obstacle itself. Suddenly, there's a practical way forward. And all this leads to a really core insight. Perception isn't something that just happens to us. It's not passive. It's not just about what we see. What Alara figures out is that our perception is an active, creative force. Think of it like a camera lens. It doesn't just capture reality, it frames it, it focuses it, it creates the final picture. Bottom line, if you can change your lens, you can literally change your world. So, armed with this powerful new idea, Alara's journey shifts. It moves from this internal battle to an experience out in the world. She ends up in this chaotic, bustling marketplace. And it's right here, in the middle of all this life, that she finds the next huge piece of the puzzle, the power of human connection. For the first time, instead of being completely lost in her own head, she starts to really see the people around her. And she gets it. Every single person here is carrying their own hidden story, this incredibly complex inner world full of highs and lows, just like her. You know, she used to define her whole self by one bad day, but now she sees that everyone, herself included, is this beautiful, intricate tapestry. And this all leads to this one simple but totally profound moment. She spots a woman who is clearly having a terrible day, just suffering. And instead of just ignoring her and walking by, she connects. She offers these simple words, and in that instant, the space between them just dissolves. It's this incredible act of empathy, and it changes everything for her. And from that single moment of connection, Alara learns so much. Like, for one, that empathy is basically the antidote to feeling isolated. And that being vulnerable isn't a weakness at all. It's actually how we find out we're all in this together. But maybe the biggest lesson? We are not defined by our worst moments. We're not just a single snapshot. We are the entire, messy, beautiful story of our lives. Okay, so the journey swings back inward again. Now that she's armed with this new perspective and understands the power of connection, Alara has to face her next big challenge, that constant pressure to be someone she's not. Yeah, we're talking about shedding the masks, the ones we all wear sometimes just to fit in. And she sees these 2 paths laid out in front of her, crystal clear. On one side, you've got the path of illusions. That's all about chasing status, desperate for approval, always hiding behind a mask. But on the other side, that's the path of nurturing your core. It's about focusing on your real values, your character, and just living authentically. And when she sees it like that, the choice becomes incredibly obvious. And so,
She makes her choice. This right here becomes her personal mantra, her North Star. She understands that real, lasting change isn't about getting more stuff or more likes, it's about becoming someone different on the inside. It's her commitment to stop chasing shadows and start building something real within herself. And this is where it all comes together. This is the culmination of Alara's entire journey. All these different pieces, the stuff about perspective, about connection, about authenticity, they all merge into this one final, really empowering state of being. We could call it the awakened self. So what's her ultimate realization? It's this. Her identity isn't some fixed, static thing. She is not defined by her struggles. She's not defined by her worst days. She is a story, a narrative that's always unfolding, a journey that she's actively living, not just enduring. And that simple shift in thinking, it transforms her from a victim of her circumstances into the author of her own life.
And just like that, we've come full circle, right back to the idea that kicked this whole thing off. This is the central takeaway of her entire journey. Your perception defines your reality. The walls we feel, the limitations we think are holding us back. So often, they're ones we built ourselves. The freedom you're looking for, it's in mastering your own perception. The power was never out there. It was in you all along.
So, as we wrap up Alara's story, it really leaves us with a question for you. Her journey shows us that we're all the authors of our own lives. The pen is right there, in your hand. So after hearing all this, my question is, what story are you choosing to write for yourself, starting today?